I was born in October of 1941, which is just a few weeks really before Pearl Harbor.
Rdna was born conceptually in a writer's retreat. When Penny James and Nicole and I got together and we started talking for days and days without telephones, without being interrupted, and we said, let's bring these two visions together. We see that permaculture leads people to need nature connection. Nature connection leads people to need permaculture. And those two things must come together.
I've done a lot of different things. I went to school, I've been in the Army, got involved in business and went back to business school and got a business degree, and then went off into the business world for, like 20 years. So I picked up Tom Brown's book, just walking in a bookstore and picked up Tracker and started to read that, and that's what turned the light on for me. For some reason I thought, I cannot make this a real part of my life. I just can't do it. Am I going to just upset the whole apple cart, move off into a whole different lifestyle, And finally I got to the point where I said, yeah, I'm willing to do that,
I think the primary reason why we brought them together, why it had to happen, because there was a feeling. It was like a calling, a compelling. We had to do this. Permaculture loves to show you how things fit together. Nature connection makes you understand how things fit together. Like it or not, you just inherit that from the experience. And I think right now the world needs that in every neighborhood. We have to rethink everything from the way we govern water systems to the way we manage resources on all levels.
So at Rdna, our curriculum is focused around earth living skills. And I would say the number one skill that we're teaching here is the skill of deep observation. When you really take time to sit and look and become aware of all of the patterns that are unfolding and how they interconnect and how they're interrelated, whether it be the animals and the weather and the plants and the people and the buildings and the water, that's when you can make an informed design decision.
This is definitely different than a Western educational model. I heard about a class where they were reading all about connecting in nature. They never went outside. They were reading all these nature books. And the holistic aspect of Rdna is also huge. I don't know where there's ever wandering. That's never really covered in university. How to just go out in nature, connect, and just not have to be anywhere at any time. What program offers that?
Everything that we're doing in Rdna is a tangible skill for how we can be designing more resilient and regenerative communities. So yes, we're tracking what's happening externally on the landscape, but we're also tracking what's happening on the inner landscape. It's not just what I'm doing in the world, it's who I'm being in the world. And that's a major focus of what we do at Rdna.
We're very interested in teaching people how to grow their own food from seed to harvest. So compost is in there, and cover cropping, and then once you're in the harvest, we're looking at how to prepare foods and how to preserve foods, and also what are the wild foods that are surrounding us right now. So how can we process our gray water, and how can we collect the roof water and rainwater and use that to water our foods. And we're making natural medicines, natural first aid kits, and then natural shelters or natural building, cob, straw bale, natural plasters, to working with fire, learning to make fire off the land from scratch.
A lot of people ask, what is Rdna, or what are you talking about? What's the program you're in? And I find myself just doing this a lot. Well, it's kind of everything. It's really holistic view of the earth and how we can connect with nature and then connect with ourselves and our community.
And I was really glad to find it all in one place. And I think it's really kind of unique, because I don't think you're going to find this all in one place anywhere else.
When I first started Rdna, just meeting the people, it just felt like, oh, here's my family, and it's especially amazing now, because now I really just am thinking, oh hey, family over there, family over there. It's like I have family everywhere now.
I had a very kind of straight but limited group of people that I was associated with, and whenever I would talk about things like this, I actually had people say, Bill, don't talk about that at dinner. People are going to think you're weird. And it was just so great, to be out of that mold and in with people who get it.
Where did it get turned into that learning had to be work? Learning is blast. It's just how it's dished out.
We were all kind of just relaxing after breakfast, and someone comes in and is asking about sandbags because apparently there's a river coming towards the house. So we all ran outside and did some emergency permaculture, which is really fun. It doesn't sound like that much fun, maybe, but it was a blast.
The magic of Rdna is that it almost feels like we are just having fun, and then the reality of it is that people are walking away with real tangible skills that they can take out into their communities.
I was just going to a friend's house, and he just moved in. He was really proud of his apartment, and there's this huge backyard. He's like, yeah, I got a ton of space here, and there's nothing, everything's dead. There's nothing planted there. And then all of a sudden it was like, that's south facing, and oh my gosh, you have so much sunlight, and we could put a pond right here. I know how to make a pond. And so I feel like I'm going to different people's houses, and I'm like, I could help you do these things.
I've watched Rdna graduates over the past 5 years leave the program and then enter into their communities and be really creating effective and positive change.
My work right now is I manage a few urban organic farms. So I think for me, a lot of how Rdna has informed my work is just learning the permaculture design, site assessment and design. So to come in with those skills of how do I read the landscape, and then that second part of how do I actually do the design. So we're having a lot of those skills that I got in Rdna, maybe would actually apply directly to this garden. So it's great because it's working on people, place, all these things coming together. It's really wonderful.
The reason people are leaving saying, I feel like I've got the tools to design the life I really want, is because we're practicing that as a core routine. It's not a theory or an idea that we just bring in at the end of the year. It's something we put in play every single week in some form or another. Let's review what is the creative process and how do we go from concept, vision to done deal.
I definitely feel like I'm strengthening my tools, and I am strengthening myself as a person to interact in the world and be the person I want to be. But I definitely feel like I am creating my own map. It's not even like I'm being given a map. It's like I'm being given the tools to create my own map to make my life the way I want it to be.